I think we're into game picks, if I'm not mistaken. We're into game picks, and I'm doing something different this week. I have spent the last 24 hours trying to figure out how did I go 5-11? What did I do? What went wrong, right? Something had to have gone wrong. Well, I literally sat at my computer. I'm not going to give you guys the formula, but I came up with the formula to predict the games this week, to predict spreads this week, and it is going to absolutely hit. And I ran it. I ran it through week 3 of the NFL, and it went 14-2. Okay. I took all of the numbers it needed, and it went 14-2 last week. So this week, it's going off. And I'm very excited about it. What's he writing? What is it? Yeah, right. We'll see. And we're going to start.
2-14 inbound.
2-14, a horrible week coming, and then I will scrap the whole thing. First game. Before we get into today's video, guys, I just want to give a special shout out to today's sponsors, starting with Gold Fine & Bowles, Lawyers for the Injured. Personal injury, workers' compensation, those are their two things, but any sort of legal advice, they're the people to call. Give them a phone call, 309-673-5144. Tell them we sent you, okay? And I'd also like to shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video as well. Use promo code PlayBookSports on their website to get $20 off your first purchase of $30 or more. Let's get back to the video. Thursday Night Football, we've got an NFC East matchup. The Dallas Cowboys going up against the New York Giants. And remember, everybody, these lines were all written down at noon today. They will move, and they already have moved just from looking. We're going with what I wrote on the papers by hand because it's too much to try and keep up with all of the changes. For example, Monday night's game, and we're not talking about it yet, but Monday night's game, the Titans, when I looked, were favored by 1.5, and now it is Miami favored by 1 point. So we're staying with the Titans -1.5 at that point. I'm not changing them. They are what they are. Dallas -5.5. And we're going to be switching up the order a lot this week, but I'm going to go first. And I'm going with the New York Giants plus the 5.5 points. And here's why. First of all, my formula tells me to do it. Second of all, teams that are 5.5 point underdogs this season, 13-2 against the spread. 4-0 outright wins. Just this past weekend, 9 total. 9 outright wins in 15 games. 9 outright wins is insane. So I'm going to take the Giants plus the 5.5. I don't think they're going to outright win because the Cowboys have won, 9 of the last 10 against them? Dating back to 2017, they've only lost to them once, and it was by 3 points. So I love Dallas to win this game, but give me the Giants to cover the 5.5. Addison.
I'm also on the G-Men plus the 5.5. Screw your formula. I'm taking them because the Cowboys' defense is cheeks.
I think that's part of the formula.
That could be part of the formula, and if it is, it's true. The run defense for the Cowboys is horrendous right now. The G-Men were able to rush for over 100 yards against the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland last week. Danny Dimes and Malik Neighbors have clearly built a connection together. I just think that's a lot of points for a team that Dallas gives it up like nobody else. And the G-Men are going to be able to score at least 17. They're going to keep it close. Give me the G-Men plus the 5.5.
Yeah, gosh, are we going to clean sweep the G-Men?
Gross. No
This is scary, but I'm going to also roll with the Giants right here. I said last week I'm not going to pick the Giants until they give me a reason to pick them. And then they immediately threw 2 touchdowns to Malik Neighbors. My fantasy team loved it. So I'm going to roll with the Giants now. I also believe that X factor in this game, it's the running backs right now. Obviously, do they have any running backs? Who knows? But I don't think it's going to be Devin Singletary. I think it's going to be Tyrone Tracy. Going to come out of nowhere, have a 100-yard game this week. Maybe a little update or little sneak peek on a sleeper this week. Okay. You never know. Little Tyrone Tracy Jr. But Dallas last week, they got absolutely gashed. They did throw the ball well. And I don't think they have many people that can cover CeeDee Lamb. So I do think this is going to be a closer game. But that's the reason I'm picking the Giants, because it's going to be a close game. I think Dallas could win this game, but not by more than 5.
Colin, resident Cowboys fan. How are we feeling? What you got for us? Come on.
Oh, we're feeling disheartened, depleted, bamboozled, led astray. We're looking like a coaching change at defensive coordinator in about week 8 of this year.
Yeah.
I'm also going to complete the clean sweep of the New York Football Giants because I picked against the Cowboys, 3 times in 3 years, and I've gone with the Cowboys 3 times in 3 years. They've lost all 3 outright as favorites, so I'm going with the Giants here. Do you think the Cowboys win? Dax only lost 3 games against the Giants, and 2 of them were in his rookie season. As you mentioned, won a lot of the last few years here with them. But give me the Giants to cover that 5.5. There's always a thing on Twitter. It's like, can the average person, or do you think you could run for 1 yard in an NFL game? And I am certain everybody watching, everybody listening, all 4 of us in the room could get 1 yard against that Dallas Cowboy defense because
Put
they
an
can't
offensive
stop
line in
a
front,
nosebleed.
probably.
So give me the Giants.
Okay.
Love it.
So we've got 4 on the Giants. We'll see what Bobby's pick is. Well, let's hope he takes the Cowboys and saves us from the clean sweep curse.
It was 1-4 last week.
1-4 clean sweeps. Ugly. And it took the Commanders to pull it off for us. Thank God that they
That's
did.
part of the reason I took the Giants.
Yeah, I know. We got to hope Bobby takes the Cowboys. We're screwed. Addis, I'm coming to you next. We got an NFC South matchup. New Orleans Saints at Atlanta. Currently, the line is Atlanta -1.5 as a home team.
I'm taking the Atlanta Falcons here as the home team. Last week is what the New Orleans Saints are going to be for the foreseeable future, in my opinion. I said false hope the first couple of weeks with Derek Carr. The Saints love to give their fans that, and I think Atlanta has improved every week. Kirk Cousins does look better. If he was injured coming into the season, he's clearly recovering week by week. They're getting Bijan more involved in the offense. They came down to the wire against the Kansas City Chiefs, an elite team. I think this is sort of disrespectful to be under 3 for Atlanta. I understand how New Orleans has played, but I'm all over Atlanta the way they've looked the last couple of weeks. And again, I think New Orleans really showed Philly showed the blueprint last week how to stop New Orleans. So we'll see if they can bounce back from that. But I'm on Atlanta here minus the 1.5.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with Atlanta as well at home. I think they were one fourth down away from basically completing this comeback against the Chiefs. I mean, they really should have had that game. I think Kirk Cousins changing the play call at the end of that game and making it a stretch play to the left instead of going right down the throat was an absolute killer for them. I mean,
Hey, yo.
sorry, Kirk. Kirko Chains. No, he is looking more comfortable every single week, though. And that gives me a lot of confidence. Darnell Mooney looks to be a guy. I mean, I never thought he was with the Bears, but I guess that was just due to inept play calling and quarterback play.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, who said that? But that's why I'm going to go with Atlanta. New Orleans just looked out of sync last week, and Atlanta's defense has gone absolutely far and beyond what they've been the past few years. They can shut down this New Orleans Saints offense.
I'll go ahead and jump in there. I'm actually going to be going with the New Orleans Saints on the road, getting 1.5 here. Definitely avoiding a clean sweep. You just look at what they did their first 2 weeks of the season, dropping 91 points on, yes, the Panthers, who looked really good against the Raiders, to be fair, and against the Cowboys, who run defense is rough. So I look at the run defense here, and in the rushing game in general, it heavily favors New Orleans. Just when you look at the statistics of their per-game averages, New Orleans is averaging 53 more yards a game than their opponents are getting. Atlanta gives it up in the run. They're giving up, they're like negative 40 yards a game in the rushing attack. So give me New Orleans to kind of ground and pound this one and get it done. Colin.
Yeah, I'm going with those Dirty Birds here as well. Give me Atlanta at home, starting to kind of gel together. Last week, a couple plays go their way. Drake London, you talk about Darnell Mooney. Drake London kind of becoming one of his own as well. So give me Atlanta at home here.
Okay, and Colin, I'm going to just hand you right back the mic. We got the Los Angeles Rams traveling to Chicago to take on the Bears. Chicago fans definitely hurting. I mean, if Caleb Williams was playing like this and you guys were 1-2 and Jaden Daniels was not looking as good as he looked, like that just makes it hurt just a little bit more. 'Cause you're like, shit. The Bears did not lose this game against the Colts because of Caleb Williams. The turnovers obviously are killer, especially one or two in the red zone. Well, I know one was in the red zone for sure. It's just tough, but you see him starting to connect with Rome Odunze. I think that's obviously huge. Colin, what are your thoughts on this game and Bears -2.5?
I do like the Bears at home this week. There is one key to them winning this game, and that is containing Kyron Williams, who went absolutely nuclear last week.
Yes.
The Rams' same targets are going to be there and not be there this upcoming week. Hopefully Chicago can get Keenan Allen back potentially going into this game. I like the Bears at home in this spot.
Okay. I'm going to jump in with you. I'm on the Bears as well, -2.5 points at home. Obviously, we were all down on the Rams last week going up against the 49ers, and they come out and win outright, which was a clean sweep against us, unfortunately. But Bears -2.5, I like them in this spot. They're just a much better running team than the Rams are in general. Their defense, their running defense, not offensively. Their rushing defense is very solid. So I'm going to go with the Bears at home, -2.5 here.
I'll let Sage go.
Yeah, good call. This is hard because you look at the state of the NFL right now, and you notice that the running team is the one that wins. Chicago cannot run the ball for absolutely anything. I mean, for some reason, they're running DeAndre Swift, and he's not getting any yards. Roshan Johnson's doing all he can, but that offensive line isn't holding any blocks. But the Rams, on the other hand, can they pass to anyone? I mean, Matthew Stafford did it one time, but this is a very different defense. I mean, we give a lot of props to the 49ers, but the Bears look a lot better than the 49ers this year on defense.
Defensively, yes.
On defense, please. Not on offense by any stretch of the imagination. But that's what makes this game so hard to pick. This is the only game I haven't picked yet. I'm still deciding right now. I'm stalling. I'm stalling.
Coming to you live for the pick here.
And I'm going to go with the Bears at Soldier Field. Give me the Bears. I think Caleb Williams has his breakout game this time. Finally, he needs one to. I think it will go back and forth. He needs that back and forth game to get this under his belt, and maybe he'll show a little bit of why he was the number 1 pick. Because right now it's looking like it should have been Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, 3 games into the careers. I mean, they're already. It's confirmed that Jaden Daniels is elite. Robert Griffin III looked better than Luck rookie year, and
Weird how that kind
sure,
of
an injury was the case, but who played longer? RG3. True. RG3 did play longer than Luck. He did. I am going to be taking the Bears here minus the 2.5. I think last week was a must-win for the Colts, and I think Bears are looking at a must-win here, even though 1-2. You can't lose 3 straight. And I think the Rams, after the 10-point comeback in the fourth quarter against the 49ers, big emotional win. Emotions are high right now, might be too high. They're going to be looking at Chicago like an easy game. End of the day, Vegas knows something if the shit Bears team is covered or is favorited. I know they're home, but if this offense is that bad, yikes if they're the favorite. But I do agree. I think the defense, being able to shut down the run, the limited weapons for the Los Angeles Rams on the outside, will favor the Bears. Caleb Williams, 363 last week. Sure, there was like a 44-yard Hail Mary to add the yards, but still over 300. Got in the end zone a couple times. He looks like a rookie, and it was supposed to be better than this, but at the end of the day, he has improved each week, and if he's doubled his yards each week, so 700 yards passing this week, who knows? No, that's not happening. But if he continues to grow, if the offense doesn't figure it out, please just don't break Caleb. But I'm taking the Bears for minus the 2.5 because of that defense.
Yeah, I think the defense is a big selling point for sure in that game. And Bears, please run the ball effectively. I don't know what you got to do it, but running it between your center and your guards isn't working. Let's see some outside zone runs. You've got to have a running game to play pass, to use play action. Shit, couldn't talk. Like, if you don't have a running game, no one's going to buy it when you turn around and fake a handoff. They're like, okay, you sure? You run the ball against us. You could play 3 down linemen against the Bears' offensive line right now and stop them.
Not to jump in, but
Please.
the play action thing. Caleb's deep bomb to Rome, then 2 plays later he threw the pick. But that was a play action early in the game that the Colts sort of bid on because we hadn't really – it was too early in the game to understand what the Bears were going to do, so they bet on what was going to be a run. And then we kept running that same play action look, and that's when Latu got the strip. One-on-one blocking with the tight end is –
not going to work against Latu.
I don't know what they're doing. That's horrendous. But it's like, well, teams get on the fact that you're not running the ball successfully and you're doing the same play action. That's his pass. It's a pass. When you pass 52 times out of 80 plays, teams know you're going to throw the football.
Teams are going to dare the Bears to run the ball on.
Yeah.
That's where we're getting. Is teams are going to be like, you have to beat us with the running game. That's your only way to beat us is you have to run on us. And can the Bears do it? We'll find out. It's going to be interesting to find out. Yeah. Next up, NFC North matchup. Minnesota Vikings going to Green Bay. Minnesota minus 2.5. So kind of like Addison said, Vegas. Interesting that they're taking Green Bay here.
I think Levens loves playing.
I think that's what they're thinking is Love plays.
Questionable last week.
Interesting.
I think that probably means
Okay.
Love's back.
Looking at FanDuel props, does have Jordan Love stats on FanDuel.
Options. Okay. Interesting. Is it weird that I almost feel worse about them with Love than I do about Malik Willis right now?
If they lose their first game with Love.
Right.
So what happens when they lose 2?
No. Yeah, I guess you.
2-0 with Willis.
I guess you look at the opponents you
Caleb
play.
Williams has more wins this year than Love.
That's true. He does. So
Malik
far.
Willis has more wins than both.
That is true.
Yeah, Malik Willis does have
Lamar
2
as
wins.
well.
And Lamar. All of our teams. He has more wins than. I am taking Green Bay minus the 2.5 here. Green Bay just absolutely runs the ball so efficiently, and the Vikings haven't played a team that can run the ball nearly as efficiently as them. The Giants, no. The 49ers with Jordan Mason, not really. And the Houston Texans without Joe Mixon couldn't run the ball to save their lives. This is the first rushing team going up against the Vikings, and it's in Green Bay. It'll be a fun watch if Jordan Love's back. I really think Green Bay could be better off with Malik Willis in this game and his scrambling ability. Jordan Love is coming back off of an injury to his knee. He's going to be much less mobile, and Brian Flores is going to send the Hounds. I'd feel better about them with Malik Willis playing, as crazy as that sounds. I really would. I'm still going to go with Green Bay here. They average almost 100 more rushing yards a game for than they do against. Their rush defense is good. Their rushing offense is good. Give me the Packers. Colin.
Continuing to ride that home team train early in our picks here. I am going to go Green Bay here as well. They've been one of the more impressive teams to me. Just we talked about earlier, the power rankings, the coaching they've had. Really like them if Love is coming back here as well. It just opens more options in that passing game. So give me the Packers here at home.
Okay.
Wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Jones found the end zone.
Yeah. Oh, Aaron Jones revenge game for sure. I'm on Minnesota plus a 2.5. I think this is back-to-back weeks. They've been dogs, and obviously you get it against 49ers. Yeah, so this would be 3 straight against teams that, hey, if Minnesota's still going to be an underdog the way they've looked, the way the defense have played, without some skill weapons being there in Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson, Darnold's still doing just enough. Aaron Jones, Colin, you said it. I'm betting him to have a decent game. This revenge game indeed, especially in Lambeau. But give me the Minnesota Vikings here plus the 2.5. I got him winning outright, even if Love plays.
Sage.
Even if Love never got hurt, I'd be taking the Minnesota Vikings right here. I mean, with all they've shown me the past 3 weeks, I didn't put them as my number 1 team for nothing right here. You know?
Love that we're against Sage. Yes.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
I'm due.
Do they kind of 14? You're right. They balance out a little bit.
No, even if Malik Willis is playing, though, I mean, how long does it go before it finally implodes on itself? I mean, we said the same thing about Josh Dobbs last year. You know, the Pastronaut finally had his bad games, and they were like, all right, take a seat. You know, so it's just a matter of time. I mean, you're either taking Jordan Love with limited mobility or Malik Willis, who eventually won't be able to pass against a Minnesota Vikings defense that can get after it. So you pick your poison right there. Obviously, Green Bay does have Josh Jacobs, who I think is quietly having a really, really good season.
Almost 300 yards for 3 games.
Yeah, so I think they will be able to run on this team because obviously the Texans could not last week without Joe Mixon. So hopefully that's able to make this game a little closer, but I still believe in the Vikings and Justin Jefferson overall, you know, to make that big play and to break things out and to win this game.
Okay. I
I'm
like it.
excited for him and Jair to be talking shit.
Oh, they're going to be back and forth.
It was this game last year where Jair kind of locked him up a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be a good matchup. It's going to be a fun one. That's a really good game.
They get each other's numbers, though,
Yeah, they do.
both of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jefferson will get his, and Jair will get his. Jair with the pick 6 last week. Big
I
play for him.
legitimately think it might be a couple games where he's been clamped and a couple games where he's gone crazy.
Yeah, gone crazy
Yeah,
against him.
Jair,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's hit or miss for sure.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the Indianapolis Colts. Pittsburgh minus 1.5. Now, obviously, we record these on Tuesday, so we don't know who's in and who's out, right? We don't know if Najee's going for sure. I know Jalen Warren's out. I'm pretty sure, no matter what, he's out. But we don't know if Najee's going for sure. But, man, Pittsburgh has been very, very good. And just to be blunt, the Colts have been very, very bad. Honestly, the Colts have not done anything to inspire me outside of their rushing performance last week with the overall 3 touchdowns against the Bears on the ground. Very impressive. Jonathan Taylor, 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. Very solid. But, man, Anthony Richardson cannot the Pittsburgh Steelers will make you pay. Their offense will make you pay. The Bears didn't take advantage of the Anthony Richardson turnovers. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers will make them pay for it. I love Steelers minus 1.5 in this spot by a big time. Addison.
Yeah, I'm on the Steelers minus 1.5 as well, and Nate, it is because of the defense of Pittsburgh. Like you said, Richardson straight up played terrible. And from a passer perspective, he played terrible against the Bears, and yet they were able to win the football game. If he has another game with the turnovers like he did against the Bears, it will not be pretty. I just got to say, side note, I know Richardson's 6'5", but if that man's legs are churning, the play's not dead, refs. Let
him go. That play can't be dead. That was a terrible
Wish that was a turnover because that would have helped, but anyway, besides the point. Pittsburgh, I will say this for Justin Fields, he's doing enough. He's not asked to do anything crazy, and he's on 170-yard average per game, two touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, their offense is nothing special.
You know what you're getting.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they keep the football. They get first downs. They're going to win time of possession. The defense is going to show up. I got Pittsburgh minus 1.5 easily, unless Richardson goes out of his skull. But that's not happening.
Yeah. Like you said, Steelers defense only allowed 8.7 points a game.
10-6-10.
Yeah, 10-6. 10-6 Steelers feels right.
No, 10-6-10 is what
Oh, 10-6-10. Yes, yeah.
10 points.
Yeah.
10 points.
I agree. I think I'm going to bane the under on this game no matter what. I really don't think many points is.
Very low.
Yeah, I will still take that.
That's actually too high.
Yeah.
I'm going to go hammer that right now.
Right. But Pittsburgh, we were just talking about the running game. Obviously, Jalen Warren's out. Najee Harris, he's not the fastest guy when he's not injured. I think he's going to be even slower now. Troy Fontenot's going to be out for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
that's huge for an already struggling offensive line. I mean, Justin Fields can move around as much as he wants, but it can only happen so many times before, hey, who are you going to throw to? George Pickens, who's averaging 60 yards a game? Probably not. I mean, Calvin Austin looked good, but...
And all that's off of one catch a game for Pickens.
Exactly.
It's literally a deep bomb a game.
Yeah,
It's one deep
he's
bomb a game.
getting a deep bomb, and then he's getting like 2 5-yard catches, and then he's done for the game.
Yep, literally.
And that's what you could chalk him up to. Calvin Austin looks like a decent number 2, but how long is that going to last? I mean, they haven't trusted him before. Give me Indianapolis at home. I know it looks gross. It's so gross. But Jonathan Taylor can at least run the ball, and that's what I'm going to bank on right here is running the football. Anthony Richardson, just, I don't know. Stop going to the gym because you're overthrowing everything.
Literally, he's too strong.
You're too strong to throw 5-yard out routes. And I don't know how.
The one throw, I don't know if it's Josh Downs or who. I mean, he threw that ball 8 yards over his head.
Yeah.
And it was for a first down.
It was like 3rd and 3.
Yeah, the third
That
down.
little
down,
flag on the
yeah.
left.
Down.
Yeah.
Oh my God! What did we do? Like that's a pitching catch.
They're all pretty balls, which tells me he's just too strong.
He just
Seriously,
literally
he's
has no
he's
touch
not
yet. He's got to
anticipating
develop
strength.
that touch.
He's got to develop some kind of touch, but it's not there right now. So hopefully he runs the ball as well. You know,
'cause he
and
was good at that.
Yeah.
he was good at
run the
that.
ball.
Yeah.
yeah, do a few QB powers. Just make sure you're getting those first downs. It's going to be a low-scoring game regardless.
Yep.
Give me the Colts, I guess.
Right with the Colts.
I'll say
who
the
Sage's favorite team is.
Well-
why he would pick against the Steelers.
Well, I also pick against the Steelers because they remind me a lot of the Ravens every single year. Their organizations are built very similarly.
And the Colts do have the Ravens number. It seems. Like.
And not just that, but they play low to their opponents.
Yep,
you know?
that's true.
The Steelers
That's so
love
true.
to play down to their opponents and play up to their
That's so
opponents.
true. That's why they go 9-7 or 9-8
Yeah,
every year.
single
Yeah.
year.
I'll say this: Pittsburgh hasn't really used Fields on the ground much.
No, they haven't.
I wonder if that increases with the lack of running back depth.
Ooh, I can see that.
It might. Colin, bring us all on this one. Who you taking?
So I'm certain Bobby's taking Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
And
oh,
so
yeah, he's very confident.
I was gearing up so
To
bad.
take Indy by yourself.
To you take Indy by myself and make it the SeatGeek dumbass pick of the
Ah,
week. And then
they
Fade
stole it.
Brown
Fade
took
Brown
it,
chose
which
it.
might even
Make it
increase
more
the
dumbass.
chance of it being more of a dumbass pick. I'm not going to use the SeatGeek dumbass pick of the week on this game, but I am going to take Indianapolis at home. I think this is a week where you look at it, Colts fans and probably everyone thinking of the Colts are like, oh, their stock's pretty low. Pittsburgh, they're 3-0. All they do is win. Give me the Colts for no reason.
Please, Colts win. I need to stop.
Just cover the one and
I
a half.
just need to stop seeing 3-0, 1
You
2,
feel
3-0,
so
1 2.
good.
It's like,
Bears
I
fans
get
can
it.
take a side for the.
I get it.
How many times have the Steelers started hot and then they
Yeah.
absolutely implode? A few years ago, it was like their second to last year with Big Ben.
And they were like,
11-0.
yeah, they were unstoppable early.
11-0.
It was
and
so
then they just
ugly,
couldn't
too.
win
I love Fields,
anything.
but I want him to
can't have
succeed.
him
I
balling
want him
like
to
this,
succeed,
though.
but it's like, no, I don't mind if he succeeds. Gets Bears a better draft pick, but also it's just like, good lord, man.
True.
Williams passed his highest career ever passing game in Game 3.
Yeah. There's no
Fields
question
was
about
over
who's the better
301
passer.
yard
One-
one time in his career.
One stat about Indy, Indianapolis defenders, 3 of them are in the top 5 for tackles. That's how often they're on
Yeah.
the
They're
field.
literally on the
That's
field. I mean,
bad.
then they just get
That's-
run down
and one
all
of
the
them
time.
is a safety.
Yeah.
One of them is a
Yeah.
safety.
Like,
I mean,
they're
this-
literally on the field that much.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh averages 60 rushing yards more than they allow, and Indy gives up about 50 more than they get. So, I
Yeah.
mean, that's a 110-yard swing in rushing it.
So I think we found Nate's formula.
That's part of it. That's not all of it. That's not all. That's just part of it this week. I'm happy to give that part up. I wrote down every team's plus minus rushing yards this week, and I'm taking the better running team because last week, the team that ran the ball for more yards went 14-2. 14-2, the better rushing team. The only two that didn't hit was the Rams against the Niners, who a miracle win, and then the Commanders against the Bengals. How did the Bengals run for more yards against them? But 14-2, the better running team went last week. That's a big piece. That's a piece of the formula, but that's not the whole formula. I actually had a formulated one on AI. I'm not releasing it yet until I go 15-1 this week, and you have to pay me for it, assholes. Next up, we've got Denver going to the Meadowlands to take on the New York Jets. Denver, a game nobody picked them in. I mean, 6.5-point dogs at undefeated Tampa Bay, riding high. Bo Nix must have heard me criticizing him, and he said, hey, bitch, watch me go. And Bo Nix played a very clean football game. No passing touchdowns, but a rushing touchdown. Once again, I believe it's his second of his career already. They just locked up the Tampa Bay defense. But that's Baker Mayfield, the Tampa Bay defense. That's not Aaron Rodgers. And can Bo Nix do it against the Jets defense? Jets minus 7 points here. At home, this is a formula game. I only have like 5 or 6 formula games for this week. This is a formula game. It's the Jets -7. Just lock that in. Jets -7 here for sure. I hate taking the Jets and the round number. I would love if it was 6.5. I would love it. But let's not ride too high here, Broncos fans. Let's settle down. You're still ass. Jets -7 is a lock for sure. Not my mortal, but it is a lock.
Got to shout out Jaleel McLaughlin. Nasty play to get in the end zone in that game between Denver and Tampa Bay. Yeah, very shifty move in the backfield. I'm on the Jets, Jets. -7 here. Aaron Rodgers, man. The way he looked outside of that pocket. Woo-wee! Watch the fuck out. Like, actually, though, the Jets are real, man. He stays healthy. He still stays healthy. Don't care. Don't care. They've got they have an elite running back and a damn good rookie running back that nobody can tackle, Derrick Henry Jr. If that's the case, they have 2 elite running backs in Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. Garrett Wilson and Rodgers are going to just develop more and more. Tyler Conklin's getting involved. Lazard's, watch out. And then you just talk about the defense. Seriously, if Rodgers stays healthy, that's the narrative all year with the Jets. And he's healthy right now. -7 Jets. Easy. I mean, they're going to score 35 points. 35 points. Here's your first 5-point cover of the year for any team in the league.
Oh, shit. It is over 5.5. They are 13-2. 13-2, so they can cover. They can cover, but yeah.
Outright, though.
Outright.
This would say Denver's winning. No shot.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, there's no way I take Denver
So
here.
Nathaniel Hackett revenge game, too.
True.
Ooh,
Jets for Sean
I
Payton
still
again,
don't care.
just like last year.
No, I do not think Denver wins this game. I don't think they win 2 in a row at any point this season. When we are talking about rushing yards over here, Bo Nix actually has more rushing yards than Braylon Allen, than Zamir White, than Rico Dowdle. These are all starting running backs that Bo Nix has.
Bo Nix has 100 yards on
Bo Nix, yeah, he has 100 yards.
Leads their team in rushing.
He had a crazy 22-yard run. And if Jaden Daniels did that, it'd be plastered over ESPN. But unfortunately, it was by Bo Nix. That doesn't mean he's going to do it again. I mean, this team, they came out absolutely swinging last week against the Bucs. But the Bucs were also losing some key defenders. I mean, Vita Vea wasn't in there, stuff like that. Give me the New York Jets right here. They have a plethora of weapons that they're going to dispose all over. I think Garrett Wilson, it's going to be a quiet week for him. Pat Surtain, they're letting him. They're unleashing him.
Best corner in the league.
Yeah, they're just giving him a person. They're saying, hey, just erase this guy. Just take him out. And I think this is going to be a huge Allen Lazard game yet again. Yeah. Braylon Allen's going to pound the rock while Breece Hall is going to be catching that ball out of the backfield. They're going to move the ball pretty consistently, in my opinion. And Bo Nix is going to have a really tough time against this hard defense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Colin, coming over here to you. Are we table sweeping the New York Jets?
I'm riding that home train.
Yeah,
I picked all home teams,
Oh, no.
and I feel like I have to switch it up, but is this the game I'm doing it in?
Shouldn't be. Next game's the one you
I
switch
guess
it
I
up
can
on.
see a hypothetical cover, but I don't know, man.
Give
It's
me
a
A lot of
push.
prevent
It's
defense
a
late.
push.
A lot of
Give me the
prevent
Jets
defense
at home. I think they are built to get that rush home on Bo Nix, and I think they are built to shut down that short passing game and the run game for Denver. So give me the Jets at home -7. I'll ride that home train.
I know it was the Patriots and Brissett, but the way the Jets were able to attack the quarterback without Jermaine Johnson, without Reddick, they need Reddick.
They need Reddick.
Watch
They
out.
get Reddick. They could be really
Watch out.
scary. I don't think
Bryce
Reddick's going to play
Huff
for
is
him, though.
Nothing.
Yeah, Bryce Huff. I mean, that's a lose-lose trade. It's a lose-lose trade-off.
Bryce Huff and Hassan Reddick actually have the exact same stats this year. I'm not kidding.
They're each getting paid. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not paying Hassan Reddick because he's showing up, I suppose, which is good, but just bad all around. Bad all around. All right, Philadelphia at Tampa Bay here. Philly -2.5 is the line. Colin, I'm coming to you first here. What you got? No, I'm not. Sage, I'm coming to you first. You're never first. You're the farthest away from me.
Yeah.
What you got?
Tampa Bay looked pretty sad last week. I mean, we really gave we gave Baker Mayfield all his flowers, and he promptly burned them. I don't know why he did that. But Philadelphia, I'm rolling with the running backs right here. And Saquon Barkley is absolutely destroying the league this year. I think he could be Offensive Player of the Year this year with how he's playing. And it's not going to stop right now. Cal Kansey, Vita Vea, like all these guys are out right now. I mean, that's only going to make their running game so much better because they can just run right up the middle. They have a solid defense in the secondary right now. And A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith might be out, but I don't think it's going to matter too much because on the other side of the ball, the Philadelphia Eagles locked up the New Orleans Saints, who scored 90 points in the past 2 weeks before that. And they did absolutely nothing against the Eagles. In fact, Reed Blankenship had a game-winning pick right there going to Shaheed. Yeah.
I was fully expecting a Vic Fangio meltdown in that point.
Yeah, yeah, we all were.
Saved him.
And with the 2.5, I think Philly could win this by 3.
That's a hit.
I'm going to take Tampa Bay here, surprisingly, and it's just because in my head, Tampa Bay owns Philly, sort of, since Baker's got there. I mean, I think they're 1-1 since Baker's taken over, but even, I understand Brady's different monster, but still, it's just taking trends here. Everybody's going to be thinking Philly, especially with the way Tampa Bay looked last week, and that's how I made some picks last week. I took Tampa Bay because of how teams looked, all that bullshit. I'm taking Tampa Bay plus the 2.5. They got weapons on the outside. It was a bad week. Offensively, I think they bounce back, and it'll be a close game. Give me them plus the 2.5 at home against Philly, who's scraped by with the win.
Philly scraped by with both of their wins. Honestly, they beat the Packers in Week 1 with a last-minute Brazil. No Jordan Love. Malik Willis taking snaps, been on the team for 10 days. Throws the pick to end the game. Losing the Falcons by a point, and then beating the Saints by 3 in a game that they very easily could have lost. Very disappointing from their offense, honestly. That being said, I am going to be taking Philly in this game. Minus the 2.5. I like them to cover by 3. The Bucks, I don't know what happened to them last week, but you do not get to look like that against Bo Nix and their weapons and expect me to pick you against the Eagles and their weapons. Now, Devontae Smith probably out. If he's not out, NFL, I would like to have a word because that was a very clear concussion. Like, he was unconscious on the field. So if you're allowing him to play 4 days later, we need to have words. But that being said, Dallas Goedert, 10 catches for 100-something yards, 170 yards. He went absolutely crazy. And Saquon Barkley's just absolutely carrying for them right now, man. And Vita Vea, if he goes, that's a different story. I don't know if Vita Vea is going to play, but I am going to take Philly, just the better rushing team here. Colin?
You think the Giants owner has slept at all?
No. I wouldn't. I couldn't if I were him. I mean, Saquon might be like top 3 MVP voting right now.
He's different, man.
Yeah.
He's different.
He's awesome.
Trend I've been kind of rolling with all year is kind of what Addison talked about when his pick, not overreacting to what happened the week prior. I do think Tampa Bay, everyone's looking at them, how the hell did you get blown out
How
at
does
home
that
by
happen?
Bo Nix? Philly went on the road and beat one of the most prolific offenses to this point in the season. Held them to 12 points. Some of their defense is not going to sustain throughout the season. So give me Tampa Bay at home here plus the points, because why not? Let me ride that home train. I might go at every game. I might just be decided.
You might
take
pick
every
every
home team. Just kidding, I'm not. Spoiler.
Because next week is Carolina.
Next game is Carolina. And this one's a formula play, folks. So, first formula game was the Jets in Denver. Had the Jets minus 9, basically saying Jets should win this game by 9 points. This one likes the Bengals to win, but by 3.3 points. And we're talking a 4.5 point spread. I'm taking the Carolina Panthers at home to cover the 4.5 points. Andy Dalton revenge game? Are we not talking about this? Are we serious? What did Dalton do last week? Oh, just lit the league on fire. The Raiders coming hot off a win against the Baltimore Ravens, one of the best defenses in the league, one of the best teams in the league. Andy Dalton says, I don't give a shit. Adam Thielen on IR, that hurts. He got his one explosive play, wrecked his hamstring. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Carolina Panthers as the home team just to cover 4.5 points. Cincinnati's 0-3, and they haven't looked particularly impressive. I mean, they just gave up 38 points to the Commanders. That is ugly. Colin, swinging it over to you.
Yeah, the 1 week wonder of switching the quarterback, much like switching head coaches. I do think Carolina coming home, a lot of people might be on them. Cincinnati, are they really going to drop to 0-4? Yeah. Are they really going to drop to 0-4?
No.
Dude.
I don't love it, and I don't think they should be laying 4.5. That's why I picked, and we swept Washington on Monday night. That was my reasoning last week.
Yeah.
Why is Cincinnati at 7.5 at home this past week? Why are they getting 4.5 on the road this week? But give me Cincinnati on the road. My first road team is probably going to be the downfall of me taking my first road team.
First road team. I love it. Addison, coming to you. You have your one loss of the week. It's your only road team you take. Hey, that'd be okay. We'll take that. That'd be wicked. 15-1.
I'm also on the Cincinnati Bengals minus 4.5. They're not going 0-4. They lost to the Washington Commanders, should be the other name. I'm going to say that every time because it's coming back. It's coming back.
They want it back.
No, yeah, exactly. It's coming back. The
people
chief,
they were making
yeah, their
fun
family,
of were like,
the
"What the
relatives,
hell? We
descendants
want
of the
this."
chief. Yeah, they want it back.
Woke America.
But I'm taking Cincinnati minus 4.5. Washington beat them by being perfect, scoring touchdowns pretty much every single time they had the football. Cincinnati played a great game. They just didn't score a touchdown every single time down the field. They settled for field goals at times, and that's why they lost. Washington played a perfect game offensively. I know Andy Dalton lit it up last week, but guess what he did last year? He lit it up against the Saints in his first start when they benched Young. I think it was because of an injury, so they had to play Dalton. But still, he lit it up in game 1. Back to reality game 2. Carolina, sure, Bryce Young might be the problem. They still stink. Cincinnati minus 4.5 to get their first win of the year. They're winning this game by 10 points.
Ooh, okay. I like
10 points. That's wild.
Still take it. We're gonna take 4.5, but 10.
You know what, Nate? I'm not gonna let you ride alone with the
no,
Panthers.
let me ride alone, please.
Nope.
Please.
I'm coming with you. I'm coming with you.
Yes. Chalk.
Reason being, Trent Brown's out for the season now. Marius Mims still hurt right now. They're dealing with injuries. You know, I mean, T. Higgins didn't look like himself. Jamar Chase does look like himself out of nowhere, but he's going to have J.C. Horn lined up across from him, which is the one bright spot the Panthers have on defense, aside from Clowney maybe getting a sack last week, or he got a sack last week. So watch out for that. Chuba Hubbard had 170 yards from scrimmage last week. And if they can control that clock, Andy Dalton has Deontay Johnson, who went for 122 and TUD last week. I mean, everything kind of went right for them. I mean, I'm not saying they do have to play a perfect game yet again to make this happen, but the Bengals have just kept getting in their own way every single time, and they haven't really shown me a reason to believe in them, really. So give me the Panthers. I mean, it's what, 4.5 points? I mean, they could still win. The Bengals can, but I think the Panthers can at least keep it close. I mean, they're rallying around Dave Canales. I mean, you saw the locker room after that, and they were going absolutely crazy for that win, and they're hungry for more. You know, Bryce Young was standing at the tunnel, high-fiving each one of his teammates on the way in from that win. You know, I mean, this team is together. I mean, they're losing together, but they're together. You know, and I think the Cincinnati Bengals probably won't be if they keep losing. You know, if they get down early, watch something bad happen.
Yeah, I think Zach Taylor's starting to coach for his job a little bit at this point. You cannot lose this game. Like, you look at the Bengals start, right? You lose to the Patriots at home. Patriots, consensus worst team in the NFL, in my opinion. Them and the Panthers, truthfully. Then you lose to the Chiefs, very tough loss, but they play the Chiefs better, and they play, like, that's the only game they get up for every single year is against the Chiefs. They're like, we got to go 100%, we got to win, but they don't play well against anyone else. Commanders, like, Addison was ahead of his time, taking them to be in first in that division. Everybody else had them dead last in that division. So you've lost to 2 bottom-feeding teams, preseason bottom-feeding teams. They just aren't stopping anybody at all effectively. I mean, you lose 16-10 against Jacoby Brissett. They slowed down the Chiefs, but 38 to Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. Like, what was the plan on defense for the Bengals? What are we doing defensively here? It's a tough one. It'll be a great Andy Dalton reunion. We'll see what happens in this one.
Dalton's going to be a gem and lose a game for the Bengals.
You think he gives him one? He gives him a bone?
Yeah.
That'd be nice of him. What a gentleman.
He's a Bengal for life.
Bengal for life. Next up, we've got AFC South matchup. Now, I gave you flowers for Commanders. Big Jags guy, though, coming into the season. So why don't you tell us about this game? Who you got? Currently, the line is Houston minus 6.5.
Yeah, they're pissed. The Jags are definitely one of the bottom 2 teams in the league.
They are ass.
Confirmed at this point. Them and the Titans, both same division. But yikes, man. Trevor Lawrence, you got your bag. And last year injuries, but guess what? You're supposed to be healthy, and you're 0-3, bud.
Totally healthy.
Yikes. Their defense sucks.
It's bad. Very
But how important is Joe Mixon? Because I guess he's what made Houston's offense go.
Seems like it.
Because since he got banged up against the Bears, their offense sort of stalled out really since that time. I don't care, though. I'm taking them minus 6.5 because Jacksonville's defense worse in football, and they have a bottom 10 offense. Not a good combination for opportunities to get wins in this league, and I love the 6.5. If it was 7, maybe the other way, but I don't care. Houston's angry after that loss. C.J. Stroud threw a pick, made me grin. Give me Houston minus 6.5.
Yeah, I'm jumping in because another formula play here, folks. This one's the biggest spread of the week according to the formula. It should be Houston minus 13, just based on how these 2 teams have looked this year, based on how the defense of the Jacksonville Jaguars have looked, and Houston, an aberration of a game against Minnesota, who's just absolutely red hot. Like, the Bills beat their ass without even running the ball effectively. Leading rusher was Allen with 44 yards. Josh Allen was just played a perfect game. I mean, a 98.3 QBR and a scale of 0 to 100. That's insane. And he's throwing touchdown passes to Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid, Ty Mother effing Johnson, and Keon Coleman gets in on the fun too. Like, you guys can't slow them down. Their star rookie corner, Jarrian Jones out of Florida State, who's played very, very well for Darnell Savage, who's been hurt, got hurt and had to leave the game. It's like, now who do you have in the back? You've got nothing there. Houston is going to be, I hate saying this because it's so stupid when I say it, they're coming in this game pissed off because they just got absolutely clamped up by Minnesota and got their ass kicked. and Jacksonville's going to Houston, this is a rout. This is an absolute rout, in my opinion.
Division game 2 for the future of the division. Jacksonville's not getting this one. Houston's going to make a stand.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste too much time on this game. I'm just going to say I'm rolling with Houston. We don't have to talk about why, because if you want reasons why, look at the highlights from last night.
Yep.
You know,
watch
or the
Russell
low
Lee.
lights from last night, because Jacksonville clearly cannot play. Doug Peterson, your seat's getting hot, buddy.
Yeah, he's getting shot.
Red.
It's very hot right now. I mean, you were supposed to come in and make T-Law this generational guy, you know? I mean, they said Urban Meyer was the problem.
Yep.
Urban Meyer got let go. We gave him a free year, and then all of a sudden he's been middling, and then
He's
what?
got Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
Daniel
and
Jones
then
with
a little
long hair,
worse.
long blonde hair.
Yeah.
That's what we got.
So you got to show up something, or else I don't think you're getting through the season.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
You make a move, I think. Otherwise, your season's toast. I mean, they lose this game and they're 0-4 that season.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dougie Fresh is going to write a book about this Jacksonville Jaguars team. Talk about a quarterback I took Daniel Jones over on one of the first segments of our recording today. Got absolutely shit pumped this week in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Riding alone. There's no stupider pick or more of a dumbass pick
Yes!
on this slate
I was hoping this
than
was
the
the case.
Jacksonville Jaguars on the road in Houston. Because why would they cover 6.5 in this game? And I'll tell you why. They're not going to. So that's why it's the
So we're
dumbass
taking
pick
it.
of the week, and they're going
Yes.
to win outright.
Oh, baby.
But I'm taking the
Jags.
6.5.
If Houston loses this game, they've got questions.
Yeah.
They've got some questions. Yeah. I just don't know how that. If that happens, then the dumbass pick of the week is fully back. It's fully back.
No,
The Texans lose and
Yeah.
the Colts win. They're both 2-2.
They're both 2-2, and Colts. I mean, hosting Pittsburgh. Who's not? You never know. It's early. Things get weird. It's a weird year.
Yeah.
It's a weird year. Houston should win this game, which means they probably won't. You're probably right. All right, let's get into the 3 p.m. slate. Washington, the Red Hot Commanders, going to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Cardinals -3.5 is the line. Addison, I'm coming to you first. You're a big Commanders guy, but big
I
Arizona
was
guy
going to
too.
say, this is tearing my heart into
This was
two
hard for you.
pieces,
This was
man.
hard for you.
50% Zona, 50% Wild. I love Kyler Murray. Come to the Cubs. I also am really high on Jaden Daniels in these Washington Commanders, and it's paying off so far. But I'll also say this. No offense in the NFL stays perfect. 2 weeks without punts, that's not going to continue. But I don't care. I'm taking the Commanders plus the 3.5. Jaden Daniels looks calm, cool, collected in the pocket. Quick snap release. My man is not afraid to throw a deep one-on-one. I love him screaming to the sideline, let's go. He wants to keep the pressure up, keep that tempo up. He knows how to run a successful offense, at least of what they're calling so far in Washington. And if they're going to score points like that, give me the team that's going to put up 30 plus 3.5. So give me Washington to cover on the road plus the points.
All right, Sage.
Gosh, I mean, I told you before that I was all in on the Cardinals, and it does stop here because I'm all in on the Washington Commanders too. You know, I'm hopping on the bandwagon. Jaden Daniels made me a believer these past 2 weeks. Hasn't even punted. I mean, he went 7 for 7 the week before that. Granted, all field goals, but then last week, damn near perfect. Damn near perfect. You know, he's showing that leadership that everyone wants. Scary Terry finally has a quarterback that can throw him the ball. And, gosh, that running game looks good. Brian Robinson's running better than he ever has before. Austin Eckler looks to be out with a concussion, unfortunately. But, hey, that just means start Brian Robinson in fantasy. You know? I will say that Washington Jaden Daniels. So they were talking about him this morning on a podcast I was listening to. I didn't even think about this. Of course he went off yesterday. He's been living in Joe Burrow's shadow at LSU for how long now?
Yeah.
Everyone's been thinking about Joe Burrow with the cigar hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah,
Jaden
Joe
Daniels
Burrow.
couldn't wait for this game yesterday. He couldn't wait. And of course that's why he was perfect. And that's why he's going to be perfect this week again. No punts. Again. They're going to go into Arizona and beat them outright by a lot.
Okay, ass kicking. Sage is calling for.
First strike punt.
Yeah, me too. 100%. Colin, I'm coming to you. What you got?
Love the post game interview with Scary
Scary
Terry.
Scary.
Says he goes up to Cliff Kingsbury, goes up to Jaden Daniels. Hey, hit me on that bomb for the game. Hits him on the bomb for the game. Just shows that the trust that
Swagger.
the trust the coordinator and the quarterback has in their number one option, and the trust that he has in them. Ultimately, first time in his career, most likely.
Yes.
But give me those Cardinals at home. I don't know what it is. This game is probably gonna be the best 3:00 game. Just looking at the slate, and I think Arizona pulls it out.
Okay.
I will say Cliff Kingsbury, probably the offensive Brian Flores.
Yeah, just very good at offense. Can't be a head coach. Agreed. Colin, I'm riding with you, and the Arizona Cardinals -3.5. Ladies and gentlemen, we got another formula play. Arizona, according to the formula, should be 4.7-point favorites. I'm so nervous about how this, because if this pulls out, I'm going to look fucking so stupid if this is bad. But I am going to take Arizona -3.5. Mainly, I was going to take them anyways because of what you've said a lot, Colin, of not going to overreact to last week. I'm going to continue to look at the season as an entirety. Washington, yes, they were perfect against the Giants, and it led to 7 field goals. Like, that doesn't move me a whole lot. They couldn't execute. And they lit up the Bengals. An incredible game against the Bengals. Everyone is riding high on Washington right now. And Arizona looked very defeated against the Detroit Lions. So I'm just going to take the home team here and hope that they kind of revert a little bit, and Arizona and Kyler Murray keep going. I do love the connection with Marvin Harrison Jr. That is up and coming. They look awesome. This should be a high-flying football game, which means it's going to end up 20-16. This should be a game that we all circle. We're like, oh, I cannot wait to watch these two offenses duke it out, and it's going to end up 20-16 and disappoint all of us. Next up, we've got the biggest spread of the week. New England Patriots traveling to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. And this one isn't even a formula play. I'm taking the Patriots plus 10 points here. 10 points against the 49ers, who have looked very mediocre, dare I say. How do you lose that game to the Rams? How do you lose that game to the Rams? And Tutu Atwell on offense and Kyron Williams. You know they're going to run the ball. We've got Javon Hargrave, who's making $20-something million a year, hitting like they said. Coaches were like, this is an effort issue. Defensive players like, no, it's not. We're trying hard. And then I see a rep of Javon Hargrave hit the guy in front of him and then stand up and start looking at the quarterback, not rushing him at all. It's like, what? You're just taking a play off? Are you sure? It's not good. It's not pretty. San Francisco 1-2, New England 1-2. It's 10 points. It's a huge spread, and New England's a better rushing team. I'm going to take the Patriots here in a bounce-back spot. Not to win, God no, but to cover 10. Like I said, NFL teams this year, 5.5-point spreads are ugly. So give me the Patriots in a game nobody's going to pick them in. Addison.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody's picking them. At least not me. I'm taking San Francisco -10. I think the Jets showed how the Patriots have no ability to move the football if you bring any sort of pressure. Jacoby Brissett, sack after sack after sack, big hit after big hit. If you can just shut down the run in any form, San Francisco's going to cover big time. And I know it's dumb to say the get right week. Every week should be the get right week, and you play your best football. But San Francisco's going to do that against this inept New England team. Yeah, they really are. And seriously, they're bad. Drake May, his first pass was almost a really bad Stevie because he just fucking threw a slant that was like forced as hell, and I'm like, yikes. But San Francisco -10 here. Question marks on the offense, I don't care. I think they figured out against a bad New England team. -10, I think they won by 14. Good luck, New England. You're going to get pressure brought every single play.
Every play. And their backup, their left tackle's a guy who's a third-round pick that played right tackle. Yeah. And I hated that pick at the time, and it looks significantly worse because he looked awful.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the spread, and I immediately went to the Patriots, and then I thought about the Patriots for a second. And I was like, oh, I mean, if they can't run the ball with Ramondre Stevenson, they really don't have anything going.
He was last week.
He was a butt.
Got me 0.3 points. Appreciate it. 23 yards and a fumble. Yeah, your cheeks. Sorry.
Absolute cheeks.
Yeah, give me San Francisco 49ers. I mean, what you said about the get-right game, it should be every week. Yeah. You know, you have to get right at some point. But it helps playing the Patriots. 100%. It sure fucking helps. Yep. You know, so give me those San Francisco 49ers. They got to do something right here. Who's their backup quarterback right now?
For the Niners?
Yeah, because what's his name is hurt.
Purdy is banged up.
He's day-to-day right now.
They don't have him.
It's Dobbs.
Is it Josh Dobbs?
The Pastronaut? Give him to me -14.
Yeah, run that offense, man.
Dobbs is absolutely going to go wild. I'm actually excited about this now. Please let it be Dobbs.
Hargrave is out for the rest of the season.
Probably for the best.
Triceps. Quarterback Brock Purdy back soreness, he'll play. He's day-to-day, but he'll play.
I'll say this just as a little spoiler because I'll talk about it more with Vegas, but when coaches are calling out effort, I expect that to not be the case
not
the next
to be an
week.
issue the next week. Yeah, you can't have that, especially when you put on tape low-effort plays and you're like, shit, you're right.
It's attached to you as a player.
Yeah.
Career's cooked.
Agreed. Colin.
Yeah, weird game for San Fran last week. It got to a point when they weren't covering the 7.5. We were aggressively rooting for the Rams to come back and win.
Screw it, come on, Rams.
Because if they're not going to cover, we lose the game anyway. So let's see the comeback, and they completed it. Juwan Jennings coming out party.
Yep.
Biggest week of all time last week.
3 touchdowns.
The big key in this game is is Deebo Samuel. I know he's currently listed as doubtful. Niners going back to the last year, 0-3 without Deebo in there. I know Trent Williams is a huge piece. Chris McCaffrey's a huge piece, but it seems like Deebo is really the one. If he's out, they're not going to perform well. Brandon Ayuk, not a huge game last week.
Getting pissy on the sidelines, too.
But give some respect to Fred Warner, who I think is arguably a top 3 defensive player in football. And that sounds kind of crazy to say. Best non-edge rusher, in my opinion.
Agreed.
And just one of the, if he was just, a Dallas Cowboy, that would just solve all of our problems.
Couldn't he have been and they didn't draft him, or am I?
He was a 3rd-round draft pick. Anybody would have gotten him. So, fun fact. He was the 3rd-round pick. The Bears gave the Niners to move up to get Trubisky, which doesn't make. I mean, the Bears. Anybody could have taken him, but everyone's like, the Bears gave up Fred Warner and Solomon Thomas for Mitch Trubisky. Whatever.
But on the flip side, just no faith in New England, much like the rest of the panel here, the rest of America.
Yes.
So give me the Niners minus the 10. Somehow, some way, they'll find out a way.
Okay, I like it. Right.
And the home team, so that's why.
Okay. Yeah, home team as well. They should. I mean, they should kick that shit out of the Patriots. Next up, Cleveland Browns going to Vegas to take on the Raiders. 2 teams that are at the low point for sure right now. Browns coming off of a brutal loss at the hands of Daniel Jones and Malik Neighbors. And Las Vegas coming off of an absolute brutalizing at the hands of the Carolina Panthers and Andy Dalton. Las Vegas are bad. They give up 100 more rushing yards than they get every single game on average. That is not sustainable. Cleveland minus 1.5 here. I like that play a lot. I'm going to stay with Cleveland and not be too down on them after their loss to the Giants. Malik Neighbors is elite. I've been saying it all offseason. I love Malik Neighbors, and he gave them fits. Devontae Adams is excellent. Absolutely. He's not nearly as shifty. I like Denzel Ward to try and cover him, maybe. Who knows? But I don't trust Gardner Minshew. We've got the coach, whose name Antonio Pierce, saying, like, business decisions. He's like, I had players on tape making business decisions. I will also be making business decisions. Again, maybe it's a call-out thing where it's like you just call them all out. So are they going to come out and play hard? I don't think it matters if they play hard because I don't think they're very good. Colin, I'm coming to you.
Vegas has 0 rushing attack on offense. Zamir White's been one of the biggest disappointments to this point in the season.
That's awful.
Yeah, and Alexander Madison is just poaching touchdowns, which helped me this week in fantasy in a pinch spot where I had to play him. But I do think this is a spot, Addison, you mentioned a call-out spot. I think Vegas gets back on track, covering 1.5 here at home against Cleveland and Deshaun Watson. That pass rush to be furious, and you hope the back end of the secondary can give a more of an effort this week than they did last week.
Okay. Addison.
I think Jones at corner was definitely one of the guys getting called.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was gonna say Miles Burris on TikTok is a former NFL player, former Raider, and he basically broke it down and put it in layman's term of the fact that when coaches say that is potentially career-ending accusations for players, so it's not tossed around lightly, and it most likely was to try to get the team, hey, I'm going to call you out on the main stage, and if we don't get our shit together, you're not going to play or get cut. And that puts some fear in a player, is going to make them play a little bit harder. And the other side of the football, big disappointment, Jerome Ford in Cleveland's running attack. I understand Nick Chubb is good, but it hurts when your quarterback is dog shit and you have no pass game. Everybody knows all you can do is run. That's all you want to do. And they are not as good as they have been in the past. We'll see if that improves with Chubb, but not with Watson at quarterback. I'm taking the Raiders here plus the 1.5. I think they're going to show much more effort on the defensive side. Deshaun Watson's going to play like shit. And give me those Vegas Raiders to cover the poo-poo Browns.
Okay. Sage.
Yeah, I'm also going to roll with the Las Vegas Raiders right here. A lot of that is because Deshaun Watson is their quarterback. But that's old news. I'm going to move past that and move on to their offensive line. Wyatt Teller's out for the season now, probably. I think he messed up his patellar tendon, which is absolutely horrible for him. I mean, prayers up for him. But they weren't good before he got hurt. You know, I mean, Deshaun Watson was getting pressured absolutely crazy. And even when he wasn't getting pressured, he wasn't doing well. They can't run the ball without Nick Chubb. And if he does come back, I mean, who's to say he's going to be the same guy? Their defense, they have those names. We say we love their roster every single week. And every single week, those names aren't doing anything. You know, I mean, they couldn't stop Daniel Jones last week. Granted, they have Malik Neighbors, but they have no running game, you know? You let Devin Singletary, who they did get a fumble on, and Tyrone Tracy run the ball on you. I mean, they're not showing me anything to show they can win any games. Las Vegas, they beat Baltimore. Yeah. I mean, Gardner Minshew,
They lost to the Panthers.
They did
To be
lose.
fair,
They lost to
fair.
Andy Dalton.
Yeah,
Andy Dalton's different.
But they, yeah, okay. All right.
Andy Dalton, first game, Andy
Lamar
Dalton's
Jackson
different.
isn't different?
No.
No. All right. Fair enough.
No. Yeah, give me Las Vegas.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that one not different. Lamar Jackson, fantastic. Okay. All right.
Don't do that.
It's being clipped and posted everywhere. Next up, we got an AFC West matchup: Kansas City Chiefs -8.5 going to LA to take on those Harbaughs. Addison, I'm coming to you first. What you got?
Well, this line indicates to me no Herbert.
Yeah, that's what it makes me think. As
Yeah,
well.
definitely no Herbert, even though it was negative on all the MRIs and everything. But it's just high ankle sprain. Yeah, it's just if it's a pain tolerance or it potentially could get worse, you do, in my opinion, sit him down, especially against a monster in Kansas City. I'm taking the Chiefs -8.5. Tyler Heineke came in, and the Chargers offense lost yards. So they just were not able to continue the medium success they were having against a good Pittsburgh Steelers defense, but I don't care. Heineke, your magic is done. This is your third team in 3 years for a reason. Kansas City -8.5. Here's your dominant win to get that train going and looking smooth. Kansas City by 14.
Yeah, the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. They're playing the Chargers, but when the Chargers they're going to be one-dimensional the entire time. We knew they were going to run the ball, but they still had the threat of Justin Herbert throwing the ball. You know, they still had the threat of him going to apparently Quentin Johnston and Ladd McConkey and Palmer and all these other guys. But when you put in Heineke, I mean, there's no threat of them running the ball or of them passing the ball for more than 150 yards anymore. And with how Nick Bolton is playing right now and how they are shutting down opposing run games, I mean, Bijan Robinson didn't do much really in that last game. I mean, you got to go with Kansas City right here. I mean, they could be 0-3 right now. It's not going to be a close one this time. It's definitely not. I'm going Kansas City.
Yeah, I've been considering. I mean, I wrote down Chargers initially, but then I'm finding out more on the injuries going on in LA. It's likely not going to be Justin Herbert. Joe Alt with an MCL sprain. Rashawn Slater had to leave the game injured as well. Derwin James suspended for 1 game by the NFL. That's nice of him. I mean, my God, does Kansas City get everything spoon-fed to them or what? Yeah, their star player on defense, Derwin James, we're just going to have him sit for a game. No, sir. You don't get to play today. I'm going to take Kansas City -8.5 here and take the points. I don't know how the Chargers are going to move the ball. They've been running the ball very effectively. I can't believe, Sage, you didn't mention your boy J.K. Dobbins. 310 yards on the season, averaging well over 100 yards a game, 2 touchdowns, but they're missing their offensive line now.
That's all they have to lean on is J.K. Dobbins. I don't think he's going to be the game
No,
changer.
exactly. And you don't have Justin Herbert potentially. It'll be if Justin Herbert plays, maybe the line moves a little bit, even though he's only averaging 100 yards a game. The Chiefs did. Get him touchdown, anytime touchdown probably, because he always scores for them. I simply cannot take the Chargers, even though they're a home division dog. It's Taylor Heineke. It's J.K. Dobbins, who in his career has never been that great, and they're missing so many starters.
For 140, but
Can he?
I will say this. I should have probably looked at that before speaking, but Mahomes' career against the spread, large spreads, is probably not good.
No, it's not. I mean, them against the spread is terrible. I'm pretty sure they're 0-3 this season. No, they were against the spread against the Falcons. A lot of points, but you just got to assume that it means that there's no Herbert.
Yeah.
You've got to assume
There's no
that.
Herbert. Their offense was nothing. Scored 0 points.
Yep, they can't move the ball. They won't be able to move the ball. Because you can just now the Chargers' best thing that they've got going for them is the fact that Justin Herbert is a downfield threat. But so then you can run play action because they have to respect the pass. Yeah. You do not have to respect the pass if it's Heineke. You just don't have to.
You also have to respect his legs when he's healthy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, right. You have to plan for Herbert.
You saw that the Steelers didn't respect his legs because
he's hurt. His foot hurt, and his foot's hurt too. He came in hurt.
He couldn't even run play action. He couldn't boot to the outer side.
Yeah, Chiefs should eat him up, Colin.
This was going to be the dumbass pick of the week
that
coming
would've been
into the
electric.
week, and then Nate, everything you just said
Yeah.
about the injuries and players
too much.
potentially going to miss, and Derwin James absolutely going to miss. I just can't go with the Chargers in this spot. Although I do love that many points at home,
8.5 at
even
home.
though it's going to be 90% Chiefs fans in the stadium.
Yes, it will.
But give me the Chiefs here on the road. I agree with everything you guys have said. I think this is their breakout game.
Yeah. They couldn't stop Justin Fields and the Steelers.
Although
they gave
I'm
up
not
20
going to
points.
stand for the Heineke slander.
Okay, so sorry. Sorry, Taylor, my bad,
That's
dog.
like Zin, so shout out.
Hey, shout out Zins and Heineke. All right,
What
next.
game was it they won on the road a couple years ago, and he's just on the plane, just a six-pack in his lap?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know what it was. Yeah, he got in trouble for it. But I know what you're talking about. I mean, there was a run there where Heineke was like everyone's face. Like he bought the shoes of every team he beat. Bought color. Like everyone's like, oh, Heineke. No.
You got what? 8 pairs?
Yeah,
Hey,
8
that
pairs.
year got him so many more years in the league.
Oh, yeah.
It did. It bought him backup years for a while.
He's made millions
Except for
for
life.
that.
Yeah,
year.
agreed.
Crazy game against the Bucks and Brady. We're doing crazy.
Yeah.
That was the year they won the Super Bowl. The Bucks did.
Yeah, nearly knocked him out of the playoffs. It was a crazy game, right?
Yeah.
The 4 seed versus the 5 seed.
He had that like 15-yard.
Yeah,
run.
yeah. Yeah, they look great.
Electric.
Sunday Night Football. This is going to be a good one. Buffalo Bills at Baltimore. Buffalo Bills. The line is Baltimore minus 1.5 points here. My initial thought, obviously, I've been all about the rushing attack in this because 14-2 last week, better running team. Baltimore averages 150 more rushing yards than they give up a game. That is obscene. Number 1 in the league by a mile. Raiders dead last, by the way, negative 101. Baltimore plus 153. Bills bang on even, plus 1.7 yards. Is it September? Is it still September when this game plays?
September 29th. I did look at that.
Bills. It's the Bills. I'm sorry, Sage. It's the Bills plus points on the road. I know the Ravens. Good job beating the Cowboys. That's good. But the Ravens have struggled this season with a loss to the Raiders, a tough loss to the Chiefs. The Bills in September do not lose. They just don't. Every single year, I said at the beginning of the year, September champs, this is what they do. It's the Bills plus 1.5 here, and I absolutely am hammering it. Colin. It's less of an indictment on the Ravens than it is an endorsement of the Bills. How about that?
I am hopping on that wagon with you, and we are
Nobody
circling.
Nobody circles the wagons like Jim.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills, Jim. So give me the Bills on the road here. You got Superman, the best quarterback in the NFL,
Maybe.
in September.
In September.
Top 2 of the league.
Top 2
Give
in
me
September.
Josh Allen
Top 2.
and those Bills. I think Baltimore gives them a game, but I think the Bills just somehow sneakily pull this one out.
I will say, not to jump in again, Josh Allen this year, no interceptions. 7 touchdowns, 630 yards. They're not asking him to do too much. He's averaging 200 yards a game. Don't be Superman. We don't need you to be. Just play smart football, and it's working very, very well.
Normally, I am not an advocate for teams receiving a kickoff to start the game because they want to go down and score. I think that's absolutely asinine because getting the ball in the second half is huge. This is 1 week where I am screaming, Buffalo Bills, win the kick, receive, go down, score a touchdown, because if Baltimore gets the ball first and is able to chew clock, run the ball, keep the ball off the field, keep Buffalo Bills offense off the field, I think Baltimore will cover. But I'm going to go with that's not going to happen. I'm going to go Buffalo gets an early lead, doesn't allow Baltimore to keep the ground on the rock as much as they want to. And if that's the case, give me Buffalo plus the points. If the Ravens get up early, this could get ugly, I think. Ugly.
I absolutely disagree with you, Addison. If we get up, we're absolutely losing.
I love that.
They won 28-6 against the
That is
Cowboys.
true. That's true.
I just want to say, if we were doing a bottom 5 power rankings, the worst team in the league for me would be the Ravens with the 7-point lead in the fourth quarter. That is absolutely how it goes. Fire John Harbaugh, hire Ben Johnson.
That's crazy that you're saying that. You are so spoiled.
No.
You don't even know how good that you have it with that level of stability.
This has happened for so many years. So many years.
He's almost Marvin Lewis at this point.
Yeah.
Except he has the Super Bowl that has kept him around.
Exactly. And he's living off that 2012 Joe Flacco
I say
run.
that's 12 years, 13 years ago.
Yeah. It was. It's been so long, and I need something. I think we just need something to get us over the hump right now. I mean, Lamar is clearly frustrated with everybody on the sideline because no one is playing up to his level. He is having to, aside from Derrick Henry right now and Roquan Smith, I mean, even Justin Tucker, who has been a stalwart for us, has missed in 4 straight games, dating back to the AFC Championship last year.
They said his mechanics are off.
It's absolutely insane. I don't know what's going on. Stavi, in his last video, said we need to hire Joe Flacco just to hold the ball so the special teams unit has some leadership. You know? That's what we need right now. But it's hard to look at right now. I mean, we shouldn't have won last week. Lamar even said it after the game, which he's definitely getting fined for. Ravens fans are on suicide watch every single week, and honestly, that's how it feels. I can't look at a game and be comfortable at any point. I saw us up 28-6, and Colin's over here saying, "Oh, it's over," and I'm literally keeping my mouth fucking shut.
Yeah, I'm saying the rat's on.
I was keeping my mouth shut. I got excited about good plays, but I'm at no point am I ever comfortable with any lead right now. I would love to be down 3 with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, that feels like a safer spot for the Ravens than
You know?
by 10 in the fourth.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I would rather be down 3 with 2 minutes left than our defense having to hold someone because our defense somehow, that's when we crumble. you know, and our offense all of a sudden forgets how to run the ball in the fourth quarter, and we forget that we need to stay on these throats, you know, because we start playing too conservatively on both sides of the ball. Yep. And that happens every single week at this point, and it's so frustrating. And that's why, I mean, last week I said Ravens, like, I'm losing hope, and even this last week against the Cowboys, it didn't give me hope. It just gave us a win, you know. So if you can show us up, show me something against Buffalo, you know. If we win this game, I'll start to have hope again. But right now, I do not. And especially with how Josh Allen's playing, I mean, like you said, clean, and we never see that from Josh Allen. Ever. And is this the year that he finally gets it?
to win the MVP, man.
And that's looking damn good right now. It's looking damn good. So give me Buffalo.
Okay.
I do just got to touch on Sage's point of that Lamar not being happy. I mean, he openly said he felt like they got too conservative in the interview after the game, and maybe Harbaugh's seat is hotter than people anticipate, because at the end of the day, it has been 12 years since that Super Bowl.
Did you see on Marlon Humphrey? He does an IG live after every game, after every victory. He does an IG live.
Yep, I saw that.
And Lamar said, "Get that phone down. You know?
Yep.
We need a lock.
Why are you on live?" And it's like, we're 1-2. We're not 3-0.
And that's exactly what you want to see out of your quarterback.
Yeah.
He is a leader.
Yeah.
He is the guy you want. I have no problems with Lamar right now. He's doing his part.
It's the other, Hey,
He's gonna have to put on a Superman cape and go.
end of the day, if you're not winning, seriously, Sean McDermott. It's why he's potentially on the hot seat as well. It's like, when does being great not become enough? Because we need to be the best.
We need to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when your window is now.
Only one team wins the Super Bowl every year. Only one.
And it's the Chiefs, it seems like. It's the Chiefs. Alrighty, let's get into
17-0 with a +4 point differential.
Good God.
All right, Monday night, we've got a doubleheader. First one, we've got the Tennessee Titans traveling to Miami to take on your Miami Dolphins. Line movement update here. We're not changing it for the picks, but it was Titans -1.5. Currently, line's Miami -1. Presumably, since McDaniel didn't announce Tyler Huntley as a starter, but it is leaning towards Tyler Huntley's season. I'm excited to watch it. It's better than Skylar Thompson, better than Tim fucking Boyle for sure. Addison wants the ball.
Come on, baby.
Hit me.
You know, even if Tua was healthy, I'm picking the 0-3 Tennessee Titans. No. I'm not. I'm picking Miami Dolphins here.
Whoa.
And little spoiler, little sneak peek, outrageous take is involved in this game. I think Tyler Huntley coming in, Pro Bowler off the practice squad.
Awesome.
It's going to be better than Skylar Thompson or Tim Boyle.
Yes.
Either one a quarterback. The offense actually has an opportunity to extend drives, make big plays. Need to see it out of Huntley, but Tennessee is so damn bad. Will Levis will still turn the football over at some point. I'm taking Miami plus the 1.5. I think they win outright in a big Huntley first game, get it done guy job. So give me Miami here, plus the 1.5 in a pick that I'm actually taking the Dolphins.
Wow.
Shows how bad the Titans are.
Yeah, it does show how bad the Titans are.
Just shows how good Tyler Huntley is, that Utah legend.
Yeah.
Going back to South Beach where he played his
He
high school
trains
ball.
in the off-season.
He's from South Beach.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, him and Lamar played each other in high school.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's how long, and they've grown up together. They know how to play each other, and he's learned a lot from Lamar right there. And that's why I think Miami's gonna win this game right here and cover that 1.5 spread. I mean, Tyler Huntley is a quarterback in the NFL, whereas Tim Boyle and Skylar Thompson are not.
No.
You know, he doesn't have that injury history, and he gives you a level of scrambling that you just didn't have. You know, I mean, even Tua doesn't really have that athleticism, but you have that escape hatch right there that you can pull at any time, and especially even with Tennessee Titans defense, you know, being up and down, I mean, chances are you're going to get the ball at least 1 or 2 times in their territory from a Will Levis pick, Will Levis fumble, and you need someone that can capitalize on that. That's Tyler Huntley. Give me the Dolphins.
Colin, coming to you. No.
It's such a tough spot because
Don't do it.
I don't know who I trust more at quarterback in this game, regardless of all of the options.
Yeah.
Like, because Will Levis has just played that bad.
I mean, he's a
at
meme
this
every
point
week.
in
He
the
has
season.
something every week.
Can't wait for this week's picture
Yeah,
to
I
come
know.
out.
It's going to be great.
I don't know, man. I really don't know. Give me Tennessee minus the
God
1.5.
bless you, Colin. God bless you. That's a gentleman's move right there.
I
That is
just think Tennessee,
gentleman
we talked
move.
about their run defense, although it didn't really look great this past week.
No.
But I think it might take a week for Miami and Snoop Huntley to really get that chemistry with the receivers. Timing is everything.
Mhm.
Does he already have the chemistry? Where is Tyreek Hill?
Yeah.
So that's why.
Put him in the backfield.
Yeah, seriously. Debo Samuel.
Jet sweeps.
Yeah, just get the ball in his hands.
Yeah, please.
However you have to.
I've
Yeah.
been screaming for that.
I desperately want this to be Tyler Huntley's spot because he just gives the defense something else to think about. Like, oh, this guy could take off and outrun us. Like, we've got to be prepared for that. And I kind of like if he doesn't know the offense, like, it doesn't need to be that complex, Mike. It doesn't need to be that complex. Let's run some slants. Let's run some easy shit. Let's run the tempo offense here. The first day install stuff that Huntley's got a hold of. It's another formula play, and the formula loves the Dolphins in this spot. Just, yeah, that's all there is to it. I'm not going to give you any more than that because it's going 15-1 this weekend. But I really do like Miami at home here. Of course I do because I can't help myself. But, I mean, Tennessee has looked arguably like the worst team in football this year. I mean, they couldn't slow down Malik Willis to save their lives last week. They have just looked bad pretty much every single week, and they can't get out of their own way, which is why I like them to make the mistake and lose this game and let Miami get the win here. And let's get into our last game of the week. And this one was, I think this one's an easy one for me, especially when I just saw that the Detroit Lions will be going with the blackout uniforms, with the blue accents. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That makes this the easiest pick of the week. It's Detroit minus 4.5. That's the line. That's what I'm going with. Seattle's actually going to have to play a competent team this week, and it's in Detroit, who's coming off of a very solid win against Arizona. I love Detroit in this spot. Give me Detroit Lions minus 4.5. Addison.
I'm also going to take Detroit minus 4.5 here. I could see this being a similar matchup to their previous couple and it just being a high-scoring, prolific game from both offenses. But I could see Detroit being at home, coming away with a victory by a touchdown. Jared Goff started the first half about perfect last week, and I think they're going to continue to keep that momentum train rolling. Montgomery and Gibbs, two-headed monster. It's just going to be too much on Detroit's side of the football. I could see this being tied and Detroit scoring a touchdown with like 12 seconds left because of a big play instead of a field goal. Give me Detroit minus 4.5 at home. The jerseys are also a big reason why. They're going to look clean.
Last year, I said the the Tennessee Titans because they were wearing the Oilers jerseys. I'm like, that's a jersey play, and they won outright. That's all I'm going to say. Sage.
Yeah,
This is tough for you. Two of your favorite teams.
I'm going with Detroit.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think he's kicked Seattle to the curb.
I think he has given up.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah,
NFC,
yeah.
New pretty girl.
kick Seattle. Yeah,
Yeah.
you caught me.
Yeah, she's got big lips.
No, I gotta go with Detroit here. I mean, it's a little scary because they're a little banged up on the line. Obviously, Frank Ragnow tore his pec. That's gonna hurt them in the immediate future. But Mike McDonald, he's doing a great scheming, but I don't think he just has the talent to do exactly what he wants yet. Next year they'll probably be a lot better, especially when they finally get a quarterback that's not Geno Smith. That you know what you're getting. He's basically the new Andy Dalton, where if you have a quarterback better than him, you have a franchise quarterback, and if you have a quarterback worse than him,
You need a QB.
screwed.
yeah, you need a new QB. So give me Detroit right there. I just believe in their playmakers. Jameson Williams probably gonna have a bounce back game from that 9-yard reception. That's about all he had. So
Great decoy week.
yes,
Yeah.
very good decoy
this
week.
past week.
It's about all he is every 3 weeks.
Yep,
Honestly,
bingo.
though.
Seriously.
Yep, Detroit.
All right, and Colin, bringing us home for this week in picks. What you got?
Another tough selection here because I really want to go with Seattle because I don't know, the 4.5 just gets to me because I can see this being like 28-24, 24-20. But just give me Detroit. Let's sweep them. Why
Yeah,
not?
come on.
Let's buy some
And Bobby
kneecaps.
may take Seattle. Bobby may take Seattle. 28-21, I like that.
It scares me, but just the double-headed monster in those unis.
I
and-
said the unis, man, I'm telling you.
And in all fairness, with Miami not having a quarterback at all this past week, their defense played a hell of a
Played
game.
great.
Miami's did, so I can see Detroit kind of mirroring that same thing without a DK bomb touchdown. But
Yeah.
they really had to grind out those drives,
Yeah, they did.
and Aiden Hutchinson just keeps coming.
Yeah.
Pause.
Oh, hey, yo. Those are the game picks for week 4 of the NFL season. Hopefully we get some better football this Sunday than we got last Sunday. It was just weird football all around. Let's get into one of the coolest segments on our show, and that's Mortal Locks for the week. I am going to jump in here and go first, and I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles minus 2.5 against Tampa Bay. Love the Eagles this season. Love them in this spot to just cover 3 points. To cover 3 points. I really like them in this spot a lot. I know it's me and Sage are on that pick, which makes me nervous about it. However, I'm sticking with it. I thought about changing it, but I'm not because I love the Eagles in this spot. They should be able to bully the Buccaneers up front and just wear and tear. Give me the Eagles.
I'm going to take a team with a higher spread this week. I'm going to take the New York Jets, JTS, Jets, minus the 7. Denver still not able to attack through the air as much as I want them to have a continuously successful offense. Sure, some production last week on the ground. The New York Jets are going to stymie that. Give me Aaron Rodgers dancing outside of that pocket and those Jets to cover minus 7 as my mortal lock.
It's a formula play. So,
Yes, sir.
Come on.
My mortal lock. I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is, and the Minnesota Vikings were my number 1 team for a reason. I'm making them my lock at plus 2.5 against Green Bay. I think they're gonna show the world what's up, and especially that division what's up. There's a new dog in town. It's the Vikings.
It's Sam Darnold.
He is the ghost.
Win 13 games. Does JJ play next year?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Honestly.
How dare you? I mean, Sam Darnold's going to get a bag.
Sam Darnold's going back to New York for the Giants this
time.
Giants. Please don't.
That would be
Don't.
ugly. Yikes.
Back in that New York market. Home team I like this week. A lot of people might be down on, but Addison, go ahead and sing it with me. Bear down, Chicago Bears. I don't know the rest of the song, but I'm taking the Bears minus the 2.5 at home. Love the number there. Just win it by 3. Caleb Williams keep progressing, getting better week by week. Shane Waldron figure it the fuck out.
He sucks.
Cover 3 at home, Bears, and let's ride.
That is a clean sweep as well.
I don't care.
Yeah, Shane Waldron. We are riding for EOC.
He is struggling bad. Colin, I'm going to hand the mic right back to you because we're going to get into one of our hotter segments. It is Colin's Locks. 6-3, 6-3, 6-3. Colin's Locks. It's the new theme song for it. Colin, what do you got this week? Please no anti-Nate parlay. Made me
I'll
sad.
say-
Made me sad.
No anti-Nate parlay. Looking at what I have here, some really gross-looking picks. And Nate, you kind of flirted with the idea of a high-scoring game we considered being like a 20-16.
Yeah,
Hopefully it's not, because we're going to take the Washington, Arizona over 50.5. Large number, but I can see both these teams flirting with that high 20s, low 30s to get over that 50.5. Don't trust Washington's defense worth a shit, and their offense is rolling right now, so hopefully we keep rolling. Next one up, it's going to be a straight money line, minus 104. Give me those Vegas Raiders at home on the money line. I like them bouncing back this week. Call out from the coach. Got to have more of an effort.
Cleveland does stink.
And I still don't trust Deshaun Watson. I don't care if he gave me 2 passing touchdowns. While I had him and Amari Cooper stacked on one of my fantasy leagues.
Clutch.
Shout out you, but you come back to reality and you still stink this week. Last thing up, moneyline parlay, minus 101, so basically even money. Give me those Lions at home. Give me those Texans at home. Although I took dumbass pick of the week on the Jags, they can still cover 6.5 and lose on the road.
And that's minus 101.
Minus 101.
Love it. Love the picks this week.
So they're all gross. They're all stinky.
They are all stinky. I love them. That's
Sometimes you gotta get down and dirty.
That's right. Got to get in the trenches. Addison, outrageous take this week.
Outrageous take. So I got 2 here. One is involving the Miami Dolphins, and I guess it's a question if Huntley's going to play. Tyler Huntley plays. Give me an explosive week 1. Chemistry's there. 3 touchdowns from Huntley. 250 yards from Tyler Huntley. And just in case he doesn't play, I got a little history on this other side. J.C. Horn guarding this guy? Well, he's cheeks. Give me Jamar Chase. 22 catches, breaks NFL record. 3 tuds. 234 yards against those shit Carolina Panthers. 22 receptions, Jamar Chase. Go out and get it. He's going to be open, butt naked all game.
Love it.
That's an outrageous take indeed.
It is.
That
Oh,
might add
baby.
like $5 million per year to that extension.
Yeah, that's true.
Argata would.
Sage, moving on to fantasy sleepers for the week.
Fantasy
Pretty
sleepers.
solid last week. They were,
Yes, sir.
They're like, if you started them, you're not devastated by what they did.
And your week 1. I can't
Yeah.
say his
Andre
name.
Yosefas,
Yeah,
another
Yosefas.
touchdown.
Yeah.
He's been awesome.
Yeah, I mean he's on pace for what, like 10 catches for like 7 touchdowns for the year, something like that.
He has 1 touchdown every game.
That's what he does. And you know what? I love it. At least you're scoring.
Yeah, facts.
No, I only got 2 for you this week, just because I'm not going to force anything. I want to give you good fantasy advice right now, right? First one, Tyrone Tracy Jr. with the Giants. They're playing the Dallas Cowboys with that booty line they have on the defense. You got to go with Tyrone Tracy right here. Devin Singletary last week fumbled the ball, coughed it up. He's probably going to be in the doghouse. I think that's why he's going to be getting the majority of the work this week, and I think he's going to go nuts. Not giving that job back. Former wide receiver, turned running back, little Cordero Patterson shiftiness back there. I think he's going to go wild. Next, for your wide receivers, give me Darnell Mooney of the Atlanta Falcons. He's got a 30% target share this last week, and it's been going up every single week. Everyone else is getting their PI calls, Kyle Pitts. Everyone's been getting attacked like Drake London. They're covering those guys. The odd man out's Darnell Mooney, and they're playing the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints, I mean, their defense isn't going to hold up forever, you know? And I think this is the week where Kirk Cousins is going to target him over and over and over, and he's going to get a tud.
Just abuse him.
Darnell Mooney.
Right on.
Tyron Tracy and Darnell Mooney. Oh, baby. All right, that's all we've got for you guys for week 4 of the NFL season. Let's just have some good football. Honestly, at this point, like the Dolphins, if the Dolphins win, let's all be 2-2. If the Dolphins win, fantastic. I just like for some good football games. That's what I'm more interested in. Give us some good football, and I think we're gonna get some. I think we got some good games this week. I'm excited to watch it. Anything you guys want to add? Are we good to roll? Good. All righty. Bobby's picks will be included in there. We'll get Bobby's Mortal and everything too, so you guys will have all of that information as well. And we will see you guys in the next one.
Peace.